Just give us a summary of the importance of that ESEF filing.
Sure. So European and then UK regulators for public companies, so the securities regulators, moved a lot longer ago than 5 years ago now to decide to move towards digital reporting. In the UK, perhaps it's surprising that it took this long because the UK has been a long way out ahead. For listeners in the UK, you're probably aware that HMRC, the tax authority, has been collecting a digital and inline XBRL version of the financial statements for every company in the country. And that's every company. We need to go and check, but it's something like 2.93 million companies every year provide information to HMRC in a digital form. And that's been going on since 2011 or so. So it's kind of business as usual and old hat for accountants and many people in companies across the UK. However, the securities regulator had not moved in that fashion, but moving in concert pre-Brexit with the European authorities, they indeed developed the European Single Electronic Format. Of course, we now call that in the UK ESEF, because that runs off the tongue too. United Kingdom Single Electronic Format, which is just a long way of saying XBRL, which I admit is not necessarily the easiest acronym. Just think of it as digital reporting. We think that the UK needs to follow in the footsteps of some other jurisdictions, ensure that the very first thing that comes out is the digital report, and indeed that it has complete coverage, so that it's covering all the notes to the accounts as well. But that's a policy decision, and these things take time.
Do you think companies recognise the importance of their digital filing against, say, the PDF version?
Oh, there's a big mixture. I mean, some companies really get it, and I think I've spoken to some issuers who understand the world that we're living in. We're living in an AI world, and if an AI has to consume information from a third party, from an information provider, well, that information is good. It's not necessarily exactly what it is that management has created, but that information is much better than if the AI is asked to go and acquire that information that sits in a PDF itself. And people do that as well. So companies that understand that sort of hierarchy of quality and hierarchy of truth, because we want a single version of the truth that comes back to the company, really do appreciate that not only is ESEF the official version of the report, but that is, as we go forward in an AI era, the only thing that matters.
And what do you think? What's your opinion on the quality of ESEF filings in the UK?
It started off moderate. It has definitely improved. It's improved very substantially. The exercise that companies need to bear in mind is that this information, even if it turns out to be historical information, investors and investors' models look at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years worth of data at a time. So your information that you're producing today is going to be very important in 8 years' time, as well as it being important today. So issuers need to be thinking about whether or not they've gone through a process that ensures that people and systems can, in an entirely unambiguous manner, understand the information that's being consumed. There are other issues associated with, in particular, the mechanism by which the XHTML, the representation of the information, is captured. If that is being converted from a PDF, then depending on how that is done, you will find that the end result is not as machine consumable. The XBRL is not as machine consumable, and the HTML is not as machine consumable as we could all hope for.
Are the companies putting the checks around the quality of the ESEF filing in the same level that they're doing on the PDF?
I mean, some of them are, many of them are not. And take the cue from their users, and they will take the cue from the regulators. But it provides a really rich framework for people to do data quality checks, and not just on whether I got the right tag. but how that information compares with peers, how that information compares with the information you provided in the past, and indeed how that particular piece of information that's sitting on the face financials or in the notes of the accounts, or indeed before long in a sustainability disclosure, that information can be checked back to source. You can trace back to that information. There are plenty of systems that help people do that right now, and I think that those systems will become more and more intelligent.
But how does XBRL and AI work together, or is there a conflict?
No, we don't think there's a conflict at all. We think that once you get past the mental hurdle, and I'll come to that, you begin to realize just how important it is that machines have not just high quality information, but high quality definitions that are machine readable. And that's exactly what XBRL provides. And if you are able to provide a machine readable version of your information and a machine readable version of the standards that you're utilizing to prepare that information, then AI can do a vastly better job.
Do you see a future where the PDF print report is fully replaced by the digital version in the UK?
I do. I don't know how long that will take. It's a cultural thing rather than anything else. If you look at markets like Japan, like the United States, I mean, there's no PDFs in those environments. But I think it is very likely that people will move beyond PDF, because that's very, very difficult for machines to understand, and rely instead on fully structured information. So that means more tags in it than exist today, because that provides more information to the AI. But equally, that information will be more easily consumed, more dynamic, more interesting for the consumer. I think it's very easy. If you look at the breadth and shape of the UK's really very, very sophisticated markets, it's often easy just to step over the fact that even this exotic derivative that is consuming that is representing information across a bundle of securities and is providing some risk measure or some new asset class. All of that is actually based on some fundamental information that comes from companies. And I think it's very important that as we continue to have a growing and increasingly sophisticated financial market, we don't lose sight of the importance of the fundamentals. They're called fundamentals for a reason. And those fundamentals need to move forward in an AI era into an environment where everybody is able to rely on the fact that management has produced a high quality digital disclosure. They have done that first. They didn't produce a PDF first. And that idea of a single version of the truth is what becomes the platform on which everything else sits.